MBA grads like me with the kind of salary that we were getting. And we always wanted to font a new phone, right? So how do you do that? You can't change your phone every 6 months or 4 months. So we go to Karol Bagh, and the guy would say, "Kaun sa chahiye?" So Nokia. So you have the inner thing. So he would just change the आगे का पीछे का ढक्कन, and we had a new phone, right? So every 4 months I would have a new phone. I found this, and no one else. I didn't share with anyone. So people used to, kind of envy me. अरे इसका पास हर 4 महीने नया phone होता है, kind of. So you got me nostalgic there. Yeah, over to you.
Okay, to start with, Dakti started, as I said, like 2014, and that time, also I'd like to also tell you what the meaning is. Dakti means the impressions of the hand. It's a Khasi word, and it also means to protect the hand, Daya Kikti. And it also means with the hand, handmade. So for me, when I worked in Bombay, as I said, in the corporate, I was very much involved with printing. We were doing a lot of volumes when it comes to numbers, and there's always a huge target. And obviously, coming back to Meghalaya and working in the craft sector, because I got more engaged with artisans community here, where we were trying to kind of build in also to scale the numbers, because most of them are slowly like losing the practice because of a lot of changes. Also the land here in Meghalaya, if you look around, people are always looking for better opportunities. So craft wasn't looked upon as a very valued work, as most of them don't really have enough as a livelihood for them. It won't really work. So it was not really supporting them, so they look at better opportunities. So for us, we were, when I came back here, I met another designer friend in NIFT. He's also from NID, and we kind of worked in one project together where we had a workshop in East Khasi Hills district. And we know that, okay, most of these workshops where we do with that time where the government was, it lasts for 1 month, and then after that the design intervention happened, but there was no market linkage. So there was no value for the products, and also there was no sector where we can organize when it comes to raw materials, when it comes to material processing. All that knowledge was not there because people were making for their own need. They didn't see the market opportunity that time, especially with the black clay pottery where I work. People here in Meghalaya don't know that time that we have something like this. It is a traditional practice here, and now when you look at the black clay pottery, it's one of the most unique art form. It's a traditional practice where it needs to be preserved so that that knowledge stays on. So based on that, we kind of look at how do we look at the opportunities for these to highlight, to promote, and also add value. And I think in that journey, we kind of realize also that the market has changed, the needs have changed. So what they have been doing over the years has become more or less obsolete. So we were trying to look at various ways of introducing new designs. We've come up with so many other ways of trying to kind of standardize, because working with the hands, you will not be able to really standardize a product. So there was a lot of research that goes into it. And eventually, we are a social enterprise. So we've been trying to promote this craft from our own independent, wherever we could find a market and exhibit our work. So in 2014, 15, we've been traveling outside Meghalaya, showcasing the black pottery, also the bamboo and craft. So within, in India itself, we've kind of showcased our craft in various cities. We've also come up with various ways of not just introducing the craft, but also to demonstrate and also to create awareness. So we've come up with also an event where people come to the event, they get to see the products, the experience. Since our black clay is unique and it has a lot of value when it comes to food. So we kind of create that awareness so that people can use them. And over the years, I think we are very proud to say that last year we got the GI for the black clay pottery here. We got a GI tag, and we've represented also in various other platforms across. So the challenges are there. One is because when you look at Meghalaya, it's beautiful. Is that okay? Okay, thank you. Meghalaya is very beautiful. We are very blessed with everything around us, especially when you look at the raw materials, like the kind of bamboo that we have, the earth that we have, which is so unique. The black clay is only found in this one particular region, and it's priceless. So we kind of looked at it as an opportunity. And obviously now when we started introducing in the market, we kind of noticed that our community, the artisans community, are benefiting. And also with the numbers, over the years we've kind of had just a family practicing, but now we've kind of seen that there are a lot of, almost the entire village in that area, they're working towards learning this craft, and also now I feel like it's revived. The challenges are there also because of the lack of communication. Most of the time we travel to these villages, we don't really have proper network. We are not able to communicate, and also the language. Every dialect in every region is quite different. Like you go to Jaintia Hills, they speak in Panar. If you go to Reboy, they speak their own dialect. So we have a lot of challenges when it comes to communication. And also craft sector is very disorganized. We don't have people, it's just a secondary job for them to look at it as, you know, not as a main income, but they also are farmers. So for us, we face a lot of challenges, but we tried to bring that over the years and showed, I think, value in what we've been doing. So now I feel like Meghalaya also, with various supports from the government side over the years, since 2021, we've been able to bring out a lot of support to kind of create this sector a more organized, and also create awareness amongst these communities. With the skill, it's also, you have to think, the most important thing is the raw material. You have a village which can weave bamboo, but over the years, since there was no outcome out of it, so you don't see bamboo anymore there. And if I talk about it, I think they're endless.
Sure.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
before going to Phila, just another question here. Now, first of all, now again, suddenly Manipur has a challenge. Black pottery was, we knew that Manipur is the only place where you would get. Now you would also get it from another place in the northeast. That's very good. But there again lies another challenge, which is about how do you create a unique identity that helps people who are outside the northeast to identify and appreciate that this is not from Manipur and it is very different and it's unique to Meghalaya.
Yes, so yeah, with the black pottery in Longpi in Manipur, I know that, in Longpi, people use the clay from the land, and obviously I know a lot of potters in Manipur where they have moved also from Manipur and setting up elsewhere. So it's quite a challenge for them, but there is a difference. The black clay here in Meghalaya is unique because the soil, the clay itself is black in color. That's why it's got the GI tag. And the process, like similar to Manipur black pottery, we are also very similar, but I feel that the kind of processes involved in the finishing of the pottery is very different. We glaze it in a very different way. It's a natural glaze, and that's why we have a similar look, but the patterns are very different. Both the, when you look at other parts also in the world, like the Raku pottery in Japan, it's also handmade. The colors are very, they use a lot of glaze though there, but the technique is very similar. So there is an identity, and we can cook in these pots. People have been using it. I feel like until you cook, you try these pots and you try to use them, you know the kind of value it has.
So you can cook this in the gas as well?
You can cook it in your gas, you can microwave.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, you can use it in any kind of fire. It can take any temperature. And over the years, it's been challenging because the process is time-consuming. You have to clean the clay with your hand and taking out, and it takes a lot of time to do that. Also, since we don't have the wheel, the body is the wheel. You know, the potter would go around the wheel and lift the clay with the hand. So the uniqueness of this pottery is also because each piece is, it might look similar, but it's different. And even when we come to the end of the process, after the firing, we kind of use a very technique which we kind of use a solution, which is an extract from this particular bark here in Meghalaya. And again, it's natural, it's non-stick, so there's a lot of benefits. And we've been, over the years, getting a very good feedback. And I feel that people who've been using it, they know the difference. We have patterns in our pottery.
And you've been selling for some time now.
Yes.
So you
Since
sell only in the region or all across?
we've been selling in the region, Delhi, in Mumbai. We cannot produce, it's not something that we can mass produce, so we
course.
sell it in a limited range, but we have added value to it. Pottery is a very challenging work because when you fire, you have a lot of risks also involved when it comes to breakage and also packaging, transportation, because of it's fragile. So these are other challenges that we've faced. And yeah, uh, with the kind of interventions I've been using, we try to also connect outside the country. We've been taking our pots to Europe, and Daktina, we also have a license. We've been doing a little research on the clay where we have to give the test because different countries have various
So,
ways.
I'll just take a minute here. A couple of years back, just I think during the COVID, I was mentoring a startup from Karnataka. These are husband and wife couple. One was into pottery. The husband was into design. He's known to be one of the finest mind in the country in terms of design. They moved back to a village which was known for a very different type of pottery, which was becoming extinct. And why it was becoming extinct was that the people from the villages were moving to Bangalore, and they were taking up menial jobs like labor and all that, earning about 12,000 bucks. So their idea was to, revive that pottery. The company is called Nogu. You can check out. I will try to find and send you the link.
Sure.
And they use, they change the designs. They use contemporary designs to make it, acceptable to the urban, populace. And now what they did was that they started off by tying up with hotels like the Four Seasons, ITCs, and all that, and started placing them there, right? And then they started doing B2C later on, right? But their B2B model is bigger. They are now they supply to majority of the big hotel chains globally. Now, what has that done is that people who had left the village have come back. They're working with her in their own in their own place of stay, place of birth, and earning about 30 to 50,000 rupees a month instead of 12, 15,000 in Bangalore. They move from village to village. They find one person from that village in that initiative who has the leadership capability to take over and make him the leader who runs the factory or that small setup, and then they move to the next village and do the same initiative and then move. And that's how they're building up their this thing, so that they have, of course you have a limitation because that clay is available in one place, but it's a nice model to explore and learn. There may be some learning that you can pick up, but they have done it, and I think there's some bit of similarity in what you guys are doing. Right. Now moving to Philip, what I want you to do is that while when we talk of challenges, there are two types of challenges that entrepreneurs face, right? One would be at the individual level, which could be I don't have money, I don't have knowledge, I need business support and all of that, right? The other is a systemic challenge, which is that are there conducive policies in the state? What kind of support I'm getting from different institutions in the state? What is the entrepreneurial development ecosystem? Are there enough incubators, enough people to get my company registered and all of that, right? So I want you to, since you run a incubator, I want you to wear that hat and tell us the challenge that you had faced as an entrepreneur who was trying to set up the incubation center, as well as the startups that you are incubating, the kind of challenges they are facing, more from the systemic side, because people here have already spoken about the individual challenges, right? So I would want you to dwell more on the systemic challenges.
Yes, thank you, Pranjal. Yeah, that's a good way of placing the question, and I think it makes a lot of sense. When it comes to systemic challenges, yes, that's very like exciting in a way for me to answer, because the problem statement is kind of like quite interesting in a way. Yes, we could have institutional challenges, we could have state related challenges, like all the schemes and everything also there. And then on top of that, I think we also have a social challenge, which we are trying to address to a very large extent, which I believe you understand very well, working with all the states across the region. So yes, in terms of institutional challenges, I think in this two-day affair, a lot have been discussed about how resources are a little bit difficult, how funding is difficult, how, especially for venture, how is difficult, all those things is there. When it comes to funding also, I think a lot has been discussed as well, how states support, but then respective states will have different challenges. In our state also, I think it might not be one amongst the best. We might be the one amongst the, to improvement, I think we have more than the others. That is there. So when it comes to the state support as well. But then the state is also trying a lot. I think we have a team from our MSUM team also today. Not sure whether they're here right now, but then they're also being represented, and then we're trying our best on that part. But what I just want to address in this is, Pranjal, it's a very interesting thing about the society, which as our initiative, which we're trying to change a lot. I think a lot of us are here from Northeast, more of us might not be from Northeast, and you might not believe when people say, "What work do you do?" They expect you to answer saying a government job. I think Pankaj addressed this a little bit while he was speaking. I was overhearing it. It's a very interesting state of affair. Like for me right now, I'm in no way, I'm sitting here as if I'm successful. I don't think I'm successful in the perspective of the society of where we're living right now. He's doing something, I don't even know what that guy is doing, is what the comment I'll get, basically, which is fair. I have no issues with that. But then the society basically rewards people who have government jobs. Even if you have they don't even know. The sad part is, in a region like Mizoram, they don't know what corporate work is. They just don't have that mental faculty to get to know what that corporate work. We only know two things. One is business, one is government job. These are the two kinds of business which we can have in the life of where we're living right now. So that's what we're trying to crack, and we have been working on and on to make the people there understand that sometimes you can earn in crores and all of that, because as a government worker you can't earn a lot anyways if you're not corrupted provided. So all of that, we delve into all of that, trying to make people understand, and I think that's the main problem which we are trying to solve, and very critically important as well, because once we understand that there's a huge avenue outside of the region, because as I may be speaking for the other regions as well, but then if I speak specifically for Mizoram, we are very complacent in the region. We don't really want to go out. We have a very happy society. We even rate very high in the happy index. Once upon a time, we were number one also, I think, if I'm not wrong. So that is the case, state of affair where we're living in. We want to be there, live in our society. We have our church activities. We have so pleasant, and then people come with a government job, and they just know what more is available in the world out there. So that's what we're trying. And on top of that, we're just trying to break this government job is equal to work. We're trying to bang that down. It's quite a tough challenge in a way, but we will get there. I hope we'll get there as well. And then on the other hand is the problem statement of the society being very complacent in the region. So we want to break that, and then we want startup from our incubator also. What we're trying so hard is we don't advocate startups we run locally. We want ideas and something which could be scaled at least nationwide, if not on Northeast, potentially global as well. So we're looking heavily for that, and then I'm not sure when will we achieve it, but then we'll keep on pushing for that, and I think that's the only way, that's not the only, that's one of the big ways where we can make our region come up and basically address the problem statements which we have with startup entrepreneurship and all of this. I think a lot of it, to end the answer, a lot of it is to do with institutional state schemes and all that, but then a major chunk is also to do with the societal part of it.
So thank you for bringing that perspective in. Yeah, society also plays a big role, and I think to an extent across Northeast, or maybe the entire east of India, entrepreneurship has not taken the kind of leap that it should have in the last couple of years, in the last almost a decade. It has not been, rising at a pace that the national, index have been moving up, right? So I think the society also plays a big role in that, and it is definitely changing of
Yeah,
late.
that's right.
Of course, and more so after Shark Tank. Now, while you were talking about your initiative, we also got me thinking, and while people don't know, Shark Tank got startups, into people's drawing rooms and bedrooms, right? TVs are mostly in bedrooms now than in drawing rooms. So, yeah. But we did that in 2017 and 18. We started something called the Smart 50. It was the first televised startup contest in the country. And it was open for anyone with the Indian origin. So NRE, NRIs could participate and participated. So we had regional rounds across the metros in the country. We had regional rounds in US in a couple of places, in I think 3 or 4 locations, Dubai, London, a couple of places in Europe, Singapore, and all of that. And the finals were held at IIM Calcutta, at Jokha. So we did 2 rounds with NDTV, and it was fairly successful. And then we took a pause because we wanted to figure out how to, make the next wave more powerful and, how to modulate then. But by that time, COVID hit us, and then we took a backseat, and then Shark Tank came. So, maybe we are planning to restart that this year. So, that was India's first startup reality show way back in 2017 that we did. And it was televised all across the globe because we had participants coming in from all across. Right, so I think that makes a difference. I think you're doing a very good job because that is something that will seed the thought of entrepreneurship in young minds as well as in the minds of the parents and the societal influencers. And that will help the bright minds to join entrepreneurship and look at entrepreneurship as a professional engagement, first choice of professional engagement. Now, today what happens in majority of the colleges that I visit across the region, and I ask, how many of you want government jobs? That's how I start. And almost the entire class, class would raise their hands. And then I say that how many of you would prefer private jobs? Majority of the hands will come down. Few will be up. And then, the last question would be, how many of you would want to do entrepreneurship, want to start your own venture? There'll be 1 or 2 hands, right? So what does that mean? That is the construct of the society that you're designed to look for a government job, which is very safe. And if not, then a private job. And if the first 2 doesn't happen, then entrepreneurship. So entrepreneurship is not the first choice. So that has changed over the last few years. And what we did was that wherever we went and spoke with young minds, what we did, we also invited someone. We identified a very successful first-generation entrepreneur from that region, from that district, and got him to talk about his journey. How does that make a difference is that people see that individual as a successful person who is untouchable, very distant, but people do not know the story behind his being there, the moments where he was about to give up, right? So it's like an iceberg. You see some and you don't see the majority. So we want that entrepreneur to talk about the unseen part of his journey, and that makes him more relatable, and youngsters as well as parents start thinking that yes, it is doable, and why not give it a try. So that's how the ecosystem has been built. I think we are hard pressed for time. We are almost there. Thank you, everyone. I think we've been able to bring in some perspective on the fact that why it is becoming so imperative for our young generation to look at entrepreneurship as a first choice. In fact, as we move forward, there's a whole discussion around the future of work and future of education. I was in Bangalore a couple of weeks back, and I was meeting a friend of mine who heads HR for HP's one division for Asia. And he tells me, because I was there, and next week my daughter would be getting admitted in an engineering college, and he was telling me that do you actually want to put her into engineering? I just hired someone in Singapore, paying him more than engineers, and his academic qualification is just class 8, right? So that is also happening. So, the whole thing about education and work, we do not know where it is going to go. The same is happening with work as well, right? People would do multiple jobs. They would be freelancing. How many of you freelance? Have you tried out anything? Yeah? Good. So, and how many of you would want to try out entrepreneurship? That's a good number, yeah, because we don't see that in other IIMs. Because how many of you have taken loan for your education? Despite that, despite so many hands who have taken loans and still want to try out entrepreneurship, congratulations. Because in the older IIMs, this fact about the loan is holding them back from trying out entrepreneurship. They want to take up a job, pay back the loans, and then try out entrepreneurship. But I think this is a different breed. Congratulations, I'm very happy to see this. Don't let this fire simmer or die down. There are enough and more people in the ecosystem to help you. Reach out to any one of us here in this room at any point in time that you need help. Thank you to the three of you for taking out time and being here and bringing your perspective in terms of what made you move back to your home states and hometowns, and also talk about the challenges and that you faced while you started off, as well as the grit that you have, which has led you to kind of reach where you are and where you want to go. All the best in your journeys, and I hope to see you succeed much further and move on in your journey. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. A very warm thank you to our distinguished moderator and our panelists. Now, before we move on to the valedictory session for our proceedings today, I'll invite Colonel Adhikari to present our mementos to our distinguished guests here as a token of our gratitude. Sir.